Hello, planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations. You've made your way to the Buffy-ngton Post. Today I'll be taking a break from Buffy. It's time to review The Leftovers, Season 2, Episode 9, 10, 13. Now, I know that there are people out there in the world who like to say, I told you so, and I'm one of them. I told you so. So all you people who thought that the girls were cave women or departed, you can just... Okay, so let's just get right into Meg's own episode 1013.
My pretty mouth will frame the phrases that will disprove your faith in me. So if you catch me trying to find my way into your heart from under your skin, as fast as you can, baby, scratch me out for yourself fast as you can.
So in my review for Lynn's, I was talking about Erica's question to Nora about did they die or did they depart in reference to Nora's children, and I spoke about the importance of that distinction in this world, and this episode really tackles that question of did they die or did they depart, and how much more weight we give to the departure, because as Meg herself says here, people feel like Meg is lucky because she knows what happened to her mother. However, we also have the fact that her mother is dead. She knows that her mother is not coming back, and she's always going to feel this loss. The people who have folks who've departed, there's the slimmest chance that they could reappear at any moment. I mean, they all disappeared. What's to undepart them? And so there is this idea of hope that maybe they'll come back. They were just here. They are inexplicably gone. Why shouldn't they or wouldn't they come back? It's a question that you can still raise. However, when someone's died, you don't have that nice little ray of hope that they'll come back to you. You'd have to die, given your whole religion idea if you have one, in order to be with them again. Or you can kind of hold them in your heart, but there's never that they're going to be here physically with you again. It's permanent and it's real. And Meg is kind of stricken with this grief, and we find her at the end of this episode on the very anniversary of her mother's death and all of this that kind of she felt, but it's kind of a second-class grief. She talks about the people over there, they aren't suffering like we are, but she knows that it's permeated reality, and the Great Departure really got people, and it woke people up. And what we're going to see through this episode is that it doesn't matter whether they died or they departed. The world's going to keep going. It's going to keep spinning. It's going to make a spectacle out of this one little area, and it's up to Meg to destroy that, to take away what she sees as the fakeness of this world. The way she sees it, it's gone. And it's not coming back, and so she may not be able to feel better about it, but she can make the world into this vision that she has of it. What we also see with Meg in this episode is her constantly trying to gain knowledge. She's always wanting to know more. She wants to see it for herself. She wants the follow-through. She wants to know. She's gone to these psychics. She's gone to Isaac. And he says, are you sure you want to know? And she does want to know. She's been to these psychics. She's been to the guilty remnant. She's trying to get these answers, no matter what they are, so that she can kind of decide on something. She's taking every available avenue to her. Evie tells her, nobody finds what they're looking for here. Like, it's the people in this one place that's supposed to be a safe place where nothing bad happened. She sees that these people are broken just like she is. We get her saying she has to know, and the GR says, you need to know what, when she gets to this GR tribunal. They tell her that answers aren't going to solve anything, and we see by the end of that episode that it's true. It really is true. But Meg still wants to know what there is to know in order to just take away that idea. And use it for what it's worth, and at the end of the day, just burn it to the ground. She talks to Tom about the not knowing, and that's where she was for so long. She kept wanting to know things and wanting to know things, and eventually she just realized that it's not worth knowing. It doesn't matter. She has the mindset of the GR, but she's not holding herself to their rules. She is beyond that. She's learned everything she needs to know from them, and she's taking that and she's taking their ideals, but not necessarily their principles, if you will. She's willing to be violent. She's willing to do things, real actions, rather than these passive non-actions of the GR. She is using the GR very much like Patty did, but Patty, where she used the GR's silence to empower herself, Meg just uses what the GR kind of fueled within her. She's always been broken. Like, she does some bump of some cocaine and she says, that's better, but Meg's not getting any better, and she is trying to know all of these things and kind of get to this place, just like everybody is trying to get to this place. But what Meg does is she realizes that none of this is going to make her better. I'm not getting better. The world isn't getting better, but she can shatter all the ideas that everyone thinks make it better and good. The idea that she might be having these explosives is a nice kind of way to distract us from the idea that the girls are what's in the barn. When we know that she has something in the barn, it's clicking. You're saying the girls have got to be in there. But at the same time, we have these women asking about explosives. And so we have this notion that she is violent. She's saying, I want to put cigarettes out in people's eye. That'll be a reminder. And she's got this feel about her, but she can just take it off as soon as she puts it on because she just has this cause. Nothing really matters to Meg anymore. She, like I said, understands that she's not going to get better. Nothing's going to get better, but she's got a job she can do. And that's where this episode really is fun, when we get those moments where she has this crazy Meg smile, when all of the pieces are coming together for her and all of the pieces are coming together for us as an audience. It becomes such fun because you've been trying to know things. You know we're going somewhere, but where are we going? And then we are all going to Jarden for this grand experiment of Meg's. It's really just so much fun, this episode. Now we've got Tom, who is also kind of just like Meg. He saw this great departure happening around him, and then he saw his family kind of falling apart. And at the end of the day, he follows the Holy Waynes. He puts himself at the center of this cult, and he realizes that it's not real. And it's really kind of tearing him down and breaking him. And when he says, I'm not afraid anymore, maybe he's not afraid. Maybe he, like Meg, knows that what's there to be afraid of? You can only do. And when he asks her, why did you fuck me? She says, eventually, I wanted to get you pregnant. She wanted to almost inspire Tom. Here Tom is. He's walked through everything that basically she has. She's a cult leader herself in a way. And she's saying, I wanted to plant an idea in you that would make you want to know more, want to, like me, know more. And by the point that we get to the stoning, he drops the stone. He, like her, is not going to play by the rules. And I think that that's what she kind of wanted to see out of him. He, like she, is taking in all of these things, but he has been broken by this point. He can't really fall for these tricks that he himself is playing. And so he's not going to go with the group and just stone this guy. He drops it. And it's this moment where you can see that he and Meg are the same. She's using the GR to her ends. She's got a different kind of GR at her disposal and in her mind. Now, when we have Meg in Jarden with her fiance at the beginning of the episode, basically, She, after talking with Evie and they have this exchange with the carrots, she says, let's get out of here. And she's trying to escape this fake place. Whereas we had in Mapleton, Kevin, he says the same thing to his family. He turns to Nora and Jill and he says, let's get out of here. And he wants to go into Jarden with all of its hope and all of its kind of theme park goodness. Whereas Meg is trying so desperately to kind of destroy that whole idea. We've got Miracle and we've got Mapleton, which is basically just the whole of the outside world. In Guest, the orange stickers represented for Nora Durst the people that she had lost. She had these legacy stickers that were on her badge. The one that the fake Nora Durst had these orange stickers on it, which signified that she lost somebody. Whereas in Miracle, those orange stickers, well, not those orange stickers, but these orange stickers, they signify that nobody has been lost. And so everything from Jarden and the outside world is completely skewed. And we have all of these characters. The Great Departure created all of these characters. Nora Durst with all of her issues and wanting to get shot and all this. The Great Departure did that. Kevin went crazy when he was inside someone who departed. Laurie, she lost something that was within her. And the whole world has lost their sense of certainty. But within this world, you have individuals, and individuals like Meg who feel like their grief was kind of stolen from them, as Matt put it in season 1. It's something different. It's not necessarily relatable, and yet it really is. It goes back to that idea of, did they die or did they depart? But basically, because Miracle is this polarizing place where people are coming to it for all kinds of different reasons, and they're kind of getting all of these different things out of it. I mean, Meg, she literally spits on this thing because it disgusts her so much. And for a character like Meg, it makes sense for her to go after this beacon of hope and just kind of fucked upness, the way they've got it run as this park situation. So in the last episode, I was talking about how Patty kind of used the GR to find her power. And again, here we have Meg kind of doing the same thing. But she doesn't necessarily need to be powerful. She just needs to act. I mean, Meg is basically a terrorist. What she does in the bus with the kids, with the fake grenade that we saw coming from Guest, I mean, it was fucked up. She just wants to scare people. She wants to wake people up and make them remember. But at the end of the day, she's this terrorist, and we can see her in all of her glory, but that's what she is. She just wants to scare people. But look at what we've had from Patty all season. She's been this saran wrap on Kevin. She's dead. She is not quite what she was. She has literally become this season a guilty remnant. And that's what she's been this whole time. And Kevin just kind of got over his guilt and he got rid of the guilty remnant. But what we have is Meg. She is our living reminder, and Matt literally calls her a living reminder. And that's what she gets to be for us. We don't ever get to leave the GR behind just because we're in season 1 or season 2 now, and the GR seemed to be back in Mapleton. You can't escape them. We have Meg. They are living reminders, and she is just damned if she's not going to be remembered. And I really like this. We have Patty, who's very elusive, and she tells half-truths and all of this good stuff. And Meg's the same way, but Meg has actions behind herself. Patty, she pisses you off because she won't tell you things. It's just like when she was silent. When she doesn't tell you everything you want to hear or know, it pisses you off. Whereas with Meg, she has actions to piss you off. She's going to literally go out of her way to piss you off physically in the real world, to really wake you up. She is willing and able to act. So we get in this episode the tribunal lady saying, hey, that's why we don't mess with children. Like, we don't play with children. That's why we don't let them in our houses, and we don't try and indoctrinate them, yada, yada, yada. And that's a good point, because the government will come and mess with you if you go about playing with children. So by the end of this episode, what we have is Meg as a kind of bridge into this new world. The GR can be whatever you want it to be. I mean, it has these principles, but you can pick and choose how to play with them if you have an ideology much like Meg's. People who are of the same ideas as the GR, they're going to kind of feel the same way about it, but they're going to want to do something about it. They don't want people to forget. Meg says they're forgetting. And she and others like her are wanting to get into this. And we use her as a bridge to get to those characters and to really give those characters a home in Jarden, which is really interesting. And so it has this new world where these children literally are a part of it. It opens up the GR to being this completely new thing for us. And the kind of faces of the GR that we have now are really insane. I mean, we've got Laurie. We picked up with her. She was writing this book, and it was going to expose the GR. But then what did she do? She became a cult leader in her own right. And we have Susan. She was kind of the victim of the GR. And what did she do? She came out of it, and they took that away from her. She didn't have anything to replace that, like Tom said. But you've got Patty, who's literally being this guilty remnant for us. And you've got Meg, who is this new breed of GR who wants to go out and really touch the world. And now we have these guilty remnant people who are in regular clothes. They're not wearing white. Basically, anybody that we've seen on screen who hasn't spoken could be in the GR. That's the kind of world that season 2 has opened us up to. Like I was saying, we thought that we were kind of out of the GR, but some people were right. The GR have infiltrated Jarden, and that's apparently the whole missing teenager situation. So I've been saying for weeks that the girls ran away, that Erica knows about it, that she's in on it, that it was all a hoax. Now I'm thinking that that bag was for the big day, the escape bag when the bridge comes down or some crazy gray. I've been saying it, they ran away. Other people were saying that they were taken by the guilty remnant. Hello! They ran away to the guilty remnant, and I love this idea that this is what happened. Because it explains their silence in the car. Remember when they shot them in the car in the first episode when they were driving away from the water? They were all just kind of sullen and quiet in the car. Right, now we know why, because they're guilty remnant. They would only probably talk around other people. And it's so funny because you've got Evie singing, "It's a miracle." Whereas now she's this silent person, and that's who she kind of wanted to be, and to kind of have it be that Meg told her this joke. And that's the joke that she tells her father on the day that she's going to disappear. Makes you really wonder what's in that box, right? But yeah, the world, it's like you wanted to know, and then they created this whole, like, maybe it's explosives, but of course it had to be the girls. And I wrote in my notes, I was like, hasn't Tom heard about Curiosity and the cat? But when he opened it, I was like, I knew it! I knew they didn't depart! Oh, it was amazing. I got up and danced when the titles came up. And I feel like that's the point of this episode. I was saying, it's fun, and you get to, through Meg, find the fun. At about the half-hour mark, I was wondering, like, where are we going? Where are we going? And then as soon as we get to the point where she reveals that she's going to Jarden, like that she's the shit in Jarden, her smile, I was having fun. I was like, oh my gosh, let's all go to Jarden. And it's just the whole season. You've been getting little piece, little piece, little piece, little piece, little piece. And then here it is for you. And you got to kind of come into it with these characters who've been basically outside of our story for the entire season. And it's just a lot of fun. And I think the writing is evident of that. I think that's what it's supposed to feel like. I feel like when we come to these moments, you're supposed to be there right with Tom and right with Meg in having all of these things in your head. And a lot of people have been theorizing that the people down in the camp across the bridge are gonna storm into Miracle and all that good stuff, and that would have been fine, but this episode was really necessary to get us there. It makes so much more sense for us to kind of take that down and see what would motivate them to take that down. I love what Meg says to Matt at the end. She says, "You were waiting for me." These people, they're all looking for these answers. Meg has kind of decided that there aren't answers. There are only actions, and that's how we're going to play things from now on. I'm going to tear down Babylon. I'm going to take away the veil. I'm going to shatter these illusions that everyone's creating for yourselves. Nowhere is safe. And it's just like Erica was preaching. That's why I think she's in on it. She was saying, "We're not safe." No, you're not, because the GR are in Jordan, Texas. So just a few little things. Hey, did everybody see Letty Mae from True Blood? She was in there. She was the lead tribunal lady. Liv Tyler, way to go. I really wasn't sure if you could carry it, but then toward the end, like I said, when she got that smile, that Joker smile, and by the way, how Joker is she? She just wants to see the world burn. She is our Joker. What else? The silence. Okay, the sound design here, the soundtrack was great, FYI, but the sound design, we had these moments where Meg had this, she was going through these silent rooms, and there was this kind of ominous buzzing not sound, this kind of negative space that felt like it's kind of creeping in on her, and that's the point. She wants to break out of that. Like, the silence of the GR is not hers. She's not gonna be silent anymore. And I just really had fun with this episode. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I enjoyed it. So what did you think, Planet Earth? Let me know down in the comment section below. I hope you're having a great 2015 so far, everybody. I'm Preston L. Young. You can come right back here to the Buffy-ngton Post anytime. I've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on the other Slayers, some more stuff. You can check out my playlist for all the details. That's pretty much all I've got for today, but we'll be back next week for the season finale. It's so sad, but we'll talk about it then. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
My pretty mouth will frame the phrases that will disprove your faith in me. So if you catch me trying to find my way into your heart from under your skin, as fast as you can, baby, scratch me out for yourself fast as you can.
The people down in the camp across the bridge are gonna